So your question is, what money damages are available in a personal injury case? If you were a law student taking the bar exam, the correct answer would be this. The injured person is entitled to be put back in the position he was in before the injury occurred, to the extent that can be done with money. Now, the law can't replace a severed leg or remove pain, and the injured party is not entitled to a profit. But the injured party is entitled to be compensated for his losses, and compensation comes in 6 categories. 1, property damage. For example, you're entitled to the full repair or replacement cost of your vehicle. 2, medical expenses to date. If someone else has been paying your medical bills, like your health insurance plan, you do have to pay them back. That's called subrogation, and there are circumstances where we can avoid the payback, but that's a detail we don't have to deal with now. The basic rule is this. You're entitled to have your medical bills to date paid in full. 3, future medical expenses. You're entitled to a sum of money which will be sufficient to pay future medical bills. Now, we could design a number of different systems. For example, we could have a system where you keep your receipts and submit them for payment at the end of each year. But insurance companies want to have claims closed once and for all. So instead, you get a one-time, one chance only, lump sum payment for all future medical care. That means you need to get an estimate of the cost of future care, like you'd get an estimate for the cost of fixing a car, except the human body is much more complicated. You have to obtain from a doctor a diagnosis. What is the injury? A prognosis. What is likely to occur in the future? A treatment plan. What specific medical care will more likely than not be needed in the future? And then we have to convert that to a dollar figure representing future medical care. It's a bit complicated, but we do it all the time. 4, lost wages to date. Relatively easy to prove. It's just a matter of data collection. 5, lost future earning capacity. If you are temporarily or permanently, if you're partially or completely unable to work, you are entitled to a lump sum representing the difference between the amount you could have earned before the injury and the amount you can earn now. Now, that's easy if you have a long-term, full-time job that you can no longer do. It's harder if you're a fisherman or a realtor or self-employed. And it's harder if you suffer only a partial loss. So we take your medical records, we take them to experts in physical capacity evaluation, in vocational rehabilitation, and we quantify the impact of the injury on employment, then obtain a written opinion from an economist, an expert in economic loss. In summary, you're entitled to a lump sum representing the difference between the amount you could have earned before the injury and the amount you can earn now. 6, the last and most difficult item to evaluate is general damages for pain, suffering, disability, and disfigurement. The other 5 items of damages are easy to add up. Property damage, medical expenses to date, future medical expenses, lost income to date, and lost future earning capacity. You can buy all those things. There's no market for pain. You could put 1,000 people up against a wall and ask, how much would I have to pay you to be run over by a truck and have your back broken? Nobody's going to volunteer for $1,000 or $100,000. People won't volunteer for a life-changing injury for $1 million. But you are entitled to be compensated for a life-changing injury. Your lawyer will have to convince a jury or the insurance company of the impact of the injury on your life. That's a difficult assignment, but it's one we've successfully completed on many occasions. So let me summarize the answer to this question. You're entitled to be put back in the position you were in before the injury occurred, to the extent that can be done with money. That involves full recovery in 6 categories: property damage, medical expenses to date, future medical expenses, lost income to date, lost future earning capacity, and general damages for pain, suffering, disability, and disfigurement. I hope that answers your question in general. But if you want an estimate on how much your injury is worth, our website has a free claim evaluation form. If you fill that out, we'll get back to you by noon of the next business day, and we'll try to answer 2 questions. Do I have a valid claim, and what is it likely worth? Thank you.